you dream about being naked or just wearing your skicks? No, what do
Underwear.
your underwear, your kicks? What do you call them?
That's like a bit of a sort of a, low way of talking about it.
Oh,
Underwear,
I don't
yeah.
know, your underwear.
Yeah.
If you wear your underwear in a dream, often it means that you're actually being open and transparent. You had an interesting dream of.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this dream because I'm not going to be embarrassed to share it. Anyway, it was part of a dream that was sort of a longer part of the dream. I was in the house that we're broadcasting from now, this present house, and for some reason I'd gone. We have a conservatory on the back of this house, and we often. I make coffee there, and we eat there. We have a dining table there, but the dining table wasn't there. Instead, there it was like a church, where you get the rows of individual chairs, and I was in this room, and there were probably about 30 of these individual chairs. The rest of the furniture was in the room, but the dining table had been replaced with these chairs. And I grew up in a Methodist church, and there were a lot of old women in the Methodist church, old people actually. But I have very fond memories of those old women because they loved God and they prayed and prayed faithfully in their retirement for the things that God led them to pray for. So I kind of call them the praying old women of my childhood church. And they were all there in the seats. And I was actually at the front leading their service. This was a service, but I was leading it in in a pair of pink briefs, which is like one in my underwear drawer.
And it had pineapples
They
on
got
them.
blue pineapples on them. I think it came in a pack of underwear, and I don't know. Anyway, so
Nobody wants to know about your
nobody
underwear.
wants to know about my underwear. But it was this particular pair of underpants, and that was all I was wearing in front of these old praying old ladies of my childhood church.
So what happens?
And I think they were waiting for somebody to bring them together, and so I did. I was stood. There was a lectern, and I'd said something. I just brought the service to attention, and I said, God is so good. And now we're just going to like pray together, and we're going to offer our thanks and prayers to God. But I was standing there just in a pair of pants, right? That was it. So that was like my kind of naked or nearly naked dream, and it does speak to transparency and openness.
But what was God saying? It was a period of transparency for you, or what was the?
I think I still struggle with that because it wasn't a trans. I mean, the audience would be the indicator for me of who must I be transparent with, right? So when it comes to a nudity or a nakedness dream, whoever's watching, is it your family looking at you? Is it your church looking at you? Then if that's the audience you're in and that's what causes you embarrassment, it's talking about your embarrassment about being open and the need to be open with that group. So then, and this is kind of where I was struggling because I was like, a lot of these old ladies have passed away. I mean, this is like back in my childhood, and they were sort of in their 60s and 70s back then. So maybe I needed to be open about something that was in my past and a theme that was in my past, but it was actually, it maybe had been something it was a good thing, because they were. It was an aspect of my childhood which was really positive, and I often think without those ladies praying for me, I don't even know if I'd be where I am with God today. So it might be about a memory, and also being in the conservatory at the back of the house, the back garden. The back of the house often speaks to the past, but it's not my childhood home, it's my present self. So it's my present house, so it's something to do with my present self. That's a good thing that's come from my past.
But the good thing is that, like in the dream, being naked just feels normal, or being just in your pants or your underpants. Actually, don't say pants because in South Africa, pants are your like trousers.
That's right.
So
Underpants.
Here in the UK, pants are actually underwear, and actually it's. One friend said she was a teacher and she was from South Africa, and she said to a young boy in her class, she said, "I like your pants," and talking about his trousers, and he was like, "Miss," and he wasn't sure, So anyway, it's cultural cross references, and we just shouldn't get confused between it. But if it feels normal, then it probably is something that is something that, speaking about transparency.